How are you doing? Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Mr. Woodford. Thank you for joining us on another math lesson. We're looking at units 3. We're on lesson 3.8 while we're talking about multiplying rational numbers. So please take out your packets with us and begin to look at it. As usual, we start off the lesson looking at the bell work. Take a moment to solve the 2 bell work problems, and just it's a recap of lesson 3.7, seeing if you remember how to subtract. Now, we're using the calculators throughout this entire lesson as we did the last 2 lessons. So being able to quickly type them in should be relatively easy. All right, but if you need a second to take your time to put it in, you should give it a shot. Pause the video if you need to. Excellent. Now I'm gonna quickly just put the answers for both of these on. You should have, I apologize. Let me see something here. I don't think I actually solved this one correctly because I thought this was going to be a negative here, but it's not. So your answer should be okay. Let me just quickly fly through this. Give me one more second. That's -1. Okay. So -5.6. Oh. That is the answer for A. For B, once again, I also thought this was a negative as well, so I need to actually just fix it quickly. And what I'm doing is exactly what you could be doing if you said, I don't want to use a calculator, right? You could be able to say, okay, let me just quickly do this as well. Okay, so that's -0.74, -4.74 would be your answer here, okay? Double check them with the calculator, put them in, make sure they do make sense, right? But let's dive into our lesson. So we're talking about here multiplying rational numbers. We're talking about multiplying rational numbers. We know a rational number is any number that can be turned to a fraction, a terminating decimal or repeating decimal. So let's look at it. Now, the first practice here is asking you to practice this using with the calculator. So with your calculators, you can quickly run through it. In case you decide not to use the calculator, you could always do 4.6 multiplied by 4.5, something like this. And you should still be able to get to the answers. But because it says with calculators, just type it in your calculators, get an answer. These are decimals times decimals, rationals times rationals. And what you should get as your answer here is you should get 20.7, 8.5, and this last one is 32.4. Right, these are your answers here. Now they're all positive. Keep in mind that as we do the actual modeling and your independent practice, there will be negative numbers that you have to play around with. Make sure you type those in correctly in calculator so you can get the answer. Now, the difference between obviously that practice and the modeling and what you're going to do is they'll include fractions, they'll include square roots, they'll include mixed numbers, and you need to make sure you type them in correctly as well. This is -4, negative symbol, ABC1, ABC5, multiplied by 3.7. When you type that in on the calculator, you should end up getting an answer of -15.54 is your answer, okay? B, you type in -6, ABC2, ABC3, multiplied by 3.7, multiplied by the second x squared buttons, which will give you square root 16, which is the equivalent of 4. And when you hit enter for this one, you should end up getting -98.6 repeating. All right. Now that is the modeling. Take your time as you go through the actual independent practice. You're using your calculator. I'm not looking for much work to be shown, but I am looking for the right answers to be given. Okay, so this is one of those situations where Ms. Wolfer's like, okay, there's no need for work, but I do want to make sure you take your time and get the right answer. And if you need to double check your answer, please feel free to do that as well. All right. I would recommend you write your answers as decimals here. If you want to write them as fractions, feel free. But I think this worksheet makes more sense doing it with decimals. All right. Thank you so much for joining me with another math lesson with Mr. Woodford. If there's any questions, please feel free to leave the questions underneath the comment section on Google Classroom. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy the rest of your day.